Hi everyone! So today I'm going to be doing the intimidating TBR tag. Now I was tagged from Brittany from Under the Radar Books and Adam from Memento Mori, and I'll leave both their amazing channels down below to do this tag. So I've got loads and loads of books here. Most of the answers I've got more than one book for, so let's just get stuck into it. So the first question is, what book have you been unable to finish? For me that definitely has to be Mr. Penumbras 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. I really enjoyed what I read of it. I read to page 68? 68. But I just sort of put it down one day and never really wanted to pick it up again, and it wasn't going necessarily in the way that I really wanted it to go. I do want to pick it up again because it was very quirky and different and I really enjoyed that about it. We'll have to see. I'm not really sure about this one. So the second question is, what book haven't you read because you just haven't had the time? For me that's I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak. This is actually on lend from my boyfriend. He gave it to me after I read The Book Thief because that's both one of our favourite books, and I read the first 10 pages of it and I absolutely loved it when it started off as a bank heist. It was really interesting to me and I just haven't picked it up, and I've had so many books that I bought myself that I think I'm going to enjoy more, which probably isn't the case at all. I really want to pick it up soon, but it's been on my TBR now for almost, oh gosh, about 8 months, and I just don't know if I'm going to pick it up. But I really want to, and I know he's going to be really angry at me for this. So hopefully I'll get to this soon. So the third question is, what book have you not read because it's a sequel? I was looking through my shelves trying to find an answer for this, and I was really struggling because I didn't realise I actually don't ever read series. I have the Asking the Answer series by Patrick Ness, who's one of my favourite authors, but I haven't read that and I don't really have an intention to read it anytime soon. Apart from that, I really don't have many. The only thing that I could really come up with was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful cover. Because I haven't read Fangirl, so obviously I can't really read this, and they're both on my TBR. I mean, this is shameful. I know that I'm going to enjoy this, but like I said, because I've sort of gone off YA recently, I'm not feeling it at all. And I love that it's LGBT friendly and I know it's going to be really good and really interesting, but I haven't had the time to pick it up. Obviously it's a sequel, so I'm a bit unsure about it. Let me know what you think about these. Should I just suck it up and read it? I don't know. Question 4 is, what book haven't you read because it's brand new? And for that, you just saw it in my latest book haul, but that's The Boring by Anna Hope, which is set in a mental asylum in 1911, and it's about two characters that meet at a dance at the asylum for the first time, and the narrative sort of develops from there. I try not to read books that have just come out brand new because I have so many books to read that I feel like if I start reading all the books that have just come out, I'm never going to get to the older ones, and they're sort of going to get older and older and older, and I haven't read them. I try not to read books that have just come out brand new because I have so many books to read that I feel like if I start reading all the books that have just come out, I'm never going to get to the older ones, and they're sort of going to get older and older and older, and I haven't read them. This is one example where I'm just going to read it because it's just so up my alley. It sounds absolutely amazing. The next question is, what book haven't you read because you read a book by the same author and didn't enjoy it? For this I have two answers. I haven't read Trouble by Non Pratt, which is a YA contemporary, but it's definitely one that still appeals to me. I still really want to read this. About a year ago I read Remix by Non Pratt and thought it was really quite subpar. I didn't enjoy it. The characters were very unrealistic. It was about some teenagers at a music festival, and I couldn't connect to the characters. I didn't think they were particularly clever or interesting or stood for anything relevant. I'm a little bit concerned because I do want to enjoy it as much as everybody else has. Again, this whole idea, I've sort of gone off YA a little bit, but I do still want to read it definitely, and the cover is so great. I love the cover so much. So I think we're just going to have to see with this one. I would like to get to it soon. I think the longer I don't read it, the less likely I am that I'm ever going to read it. But I do still want to pick this one up. The other answer that I have is The Understudy by David Nichols, Start of 10 by David Nichols, and One Day by David Nichols. All of these have been on my TBR for years and years and years, especially The Understudy and Start of 10, which by the way is an absolutely amazing film. You should definitely watch it if you haven't. Because at the start of last year I read Us. I did like it, I just didn't love it, and I expected to really love David Nichols' writing. But since I read this, I just don't know if I'm going to enjoy reading his other books, and it's a shame because, like I said, Start of 10 is a great film. Obviously I do acting, so I'm going to like The Understudy. I haven't seen the film to One Day because I wanted to read the book first, but I just don't know if I'm going to ever get round to them. So the next question is, what book haven't you read just because you haven't been in the mood for it? Again, I have two answers for this one. The first is The Narrow Road to the Deep North by Richard Flanagan, which is about a World War II prisoner of war camp. Yes, it's really irritating me that I haven't just read it and got stuck in, but I am quite intimidated fits the tag, but I am quite intimidated by this book. I know it's going to be quite heavy going and I've really got to immerse myself, and at the moment I'm just not in the mood for that. I might just throw this into my TBR for June and just go for it, because I know I'm going to love it. I've only heard positive things about this, so hopefully. And the second one is The Hourglass Factory by Lucy Ribchester. This is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen in my life. I absolutely love it, and I would definitely picked it up because there's some little suffragettes saying votes for women on it. There's a character called Ebony Diamond in it, who's a trapeze artist and a suffragette. And then there's Frankie George, who is a reporter, and I think it's about those two. I think it's a romance with loads of feminism thrown in. It just sounds completely up my alley. Again, I haven't really been in the mood for this, and I know that I'm going to really enjoy this. Or at least I hope I will. This I haven't really heard many people talk about. This is also sort of one that as I was going through my shelves I'd sort of forgotten that I had, and then as soon as I saw it I was like, yeah, I really need to read that book. So I think I'm going to give this one a go for my June TBR. The next question is, what book haven't you read because it's humongous? And before you shout at me, yes, I realise The Bonecocks by David Mitchell is not humongous. I think it's about 680, 690 pages, but I generally don't read long books. I know I'm going to love this as well. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, especially after I read Slade House, which is sort of a companion novel to The Bonecocks. I have read books longer than this before, or at least as long. Night Film is one of my favourite books of all time by Maria Pesci. I think that's her name. But I feel like it's a book that I really, again, need to sort of dive into and immerse myself in. Hopefully, again, I'll get to this soon. Definitely intimidated by this book. The next question is, what book did you pick up because it was a beautiful cover but you've actually heard not very good reviews about? And I'm going to go with The Version of Us by Laura Barnett. This is probably my favourite hardback of all time. I love that it's actually on the hardback and the end papers with the bicycles. And I really like the concept of this book. It's about people meeting at different points. It starts in 1958 and two people meet sort of 3 or 4 times and things go differently. And I'm quite happy sort of going into it with a completely open mind and not knowing that much about it. But I've actually heard pretty crappy things about this, especially from a couple of close friends. They've really not enjoyed this at all. So it's been pushed to the bottom of my TBR for absolutely ages. We'll have to see with this one. Yeah. And finally, what is the most intimidating book on your TBR? I actually have 3 because I am the most indecisive person in the world. Firstly is Kimberlys Capital Punishment by Richard Millward. I'm pretty sure I've described this already in one of my previous videos, but this is about a couple, a young girl and a boy, in their early 20s, and the girl no longer wants to be with her boyfriend, and instead of just breaking up with him, she tries to make herself be horrible and a horrible person, and instead of the boy breaking up, he commits suicide, and she sort of has to cope with that, and it's her reflection on it. And I am so intimidated to read it in case it doesn't live up or it becomes quite problematic, as you know, sort of these issues can. I think I'm gonna have to pick this up soon. Definitely in a similar vein to that is The Accidental by Ali Smith. I've pretty much loved everything that I've read by Ali Smith, and everybody loves this, and I'm so intimidated in case I don't like it. I've got to read this soon, let's be honest. If I'm an Ali Smith fan and I haven't read this, I mean, come on, like I need to get this read. And finally is The Butcher's Hook by Janet Ellis. I sort of, you know when you love the idea of a book so much that you sort of want to keep it precious and not read it, because then when you've read it, that's it, there's no more to read. I think that's sort of this, which is a bit silly really. I need to get on it. Again, absolutely stunning cover. I also don't read historical fiction lots, so I think I might struggle a little bit in that sense, but I know that it's quite straightforward, it's easy to read, it shouldn't be too hard going. So yeah, I am really looking forward to reading this though. So that is all of them. Thank you all so much for watching. I know I have so many books to read and a lot of popular books that I haven't got round to as well, which is a bit of a shame. As for tagging, I'm going to tag Peter Likes Books. I'd really like to see yours at this. And anybody else that wants to do it, feel free and say that I've tagged you, that's absolutely fine. I'd love to hear people's answers to these. I think this is a really interesting tag. Like I said, thank you to Adam and Brittany who tagged me in the first place. I hope you all have a lovely week, and until I see you next time, happy reading. Bye!